My name is Zach Soltis, and I just kind of wanted to express a little bit of my gratitude for the Unshakable investor group, and share a little bit about how it's helped me and what I was going to do. I had always wanted to get started in real estate, but the big scary factor to me was that it takes a lot of money to get involved and to get started. And through this process, I've definitely learned that that's not necessarily the case. It just takes your hard work and determination and knowing that that's what you want to do. And that's something that, Toby's group, the Unshakable investors, have definitely helped me come to realize. I'll admit at first, it was a little scary. To make an investment, even if it's $100, $1,000 or $10,000, that's scary, especially when you don't have a solid job or a solid stream of income or anything like that. It's scary, but I attended a few investment seminars. I sat through a couple Zoom meetings and went to all these different companies that said, we're going to help you get started in real estate. We're going to help you do this. We're going to help you do that. And quite honestly, every single one of them felt like a sales pitch. And that was up until I went to a real estate investor seminar in Dallas, and I saw Toby give a speech about what he's overcome and what he's been able to do in the real estate industry, and it resonated with me. It did. I was no longer sitting there wondering if I should believe in a company, because I realized that, and I heard through his story that I do believe in Toby and that he's here to help people. So that was definitely a big feat for me to overcome. But once I did, I sat on a call with my sales rep, and she kind of walked me through it. And right then and there, I made the decision, it's not necessarily a problem I was having with Toby, because sitting there listening to his presentation, I believed in what he had to offer. I saw the value in it. I realized it was more so a problem of just the nerves, being scared and not knowing what to do given my situation. But I decided, maybe it is time to just believe in myself and have somebody there to kind of walk me through everything. And that's honestly exactly what Toby did. I signed up with them in the end of May, and I didn't even really get started until July 1st. But the first few days in July, I found a property that looked good to me. I had high hopes on it. I sat down, I went through all of Toby's courses online. I knew how to underwrite a deal. I knew what went into it. I knew about holding costs, all that stuff, how investors looked at it. So that training alone helped walk me through the beginning and the initial analyzation and the underwriting process of how you evaluate an investment property. And then from there, I took the property to Toby's mastermind class on July 9th. And we went over the property in front of everybody, and Toby told me, it's a good property. He would go under contract at $400,000. And he told me I shouldn't wait, and emphasize that speed of implementation kills deals. And I realized that's absolutely correct. My engineering background and being a Marine, I typically do tend to way overanalyze everything. I'm thinking about every possible outcome before I even start something. And I was scared. I was going under contract on a $400,000 property with having essentially no money. I didn't even think it was possible. But Toby said, don't hesitate, get this property under contract and we can wholesale this. So I did. And the mastermind was on July 9th. 3 days later, on July 12th, I was under contract on my first property. Through the process, I didn't realize that marketing the property was going to be even harder than the sale, or the getting under contract with the seller. Again, Toby kind of helped walk me through that, and within I think about 3 or 4 days of being under contract on that property, I had received multiple offers, and I ended up finding a cash buyer for the property that we went under contract with on July 19th. So from the initial getting started, finding the property, discussing it in his mastermind class live on Zoom in front of everybody, going under contract from the 9th to the 12th, finding a buyer on the 19th, and we ended up closing with the end buyer and having the money in the seller's account by July 3rd or 23rd. So within just 2 weeks of really diving in, getting started, and using the tools that Toby provided, I was able to get just over 3x my money's return on the investment into Toby's program, which to me is incredible. And I really can't wait to see where this goes and how far I can really take it, because just being able to do that alone with having no knowledge, no experience, just strictly guidance and belief in myself, I've realized the value in the program. Everything from the masterminds where we're discussing the live properties, going over it with different people, to the Ignite calls on Monday. I mean, even sitting in the Ignite calls Monday morning at 8 a.m., I'm sitting there listening to it, and I told myself all the month of June, I have these prior obligations, I have to get this stuff done, I don't have time to get started. There was a Monday morning session about making excuses for yourself, and I realized that's all I had been doing. So that's what even gave me the motivation and the push to get out of my head and really put my head down and just work. And like I said, within 3 full weeks of getting started, 2 weeks of being under contract, I had my first deal signed and closed. And that's another thing is the support was outstanding. I went to the mastermind class and told everybody, I said, I have this property under contract. Here's my offer. Here's what it is. Should I sign it or should I wait? Can I get more money for this thing? And everyone supported me and said, this is your first deal. Get it done. Don't hold on to things that aren't there, essentially, and just close your first deal, get it out of the way, and let's start making some money. And that's absolutely what we did. And to be quite honest with you, I think I would have probably blown that deal apart had I not had the support of the Unshakable group. So if you guys are thinking about it, I would not hesitate. If you're ready to start, if you're done with the excuses, believe in yourself and believe in the program, and know that these guys are here to help you. So